So you are the Captain John Smith, who some term the worst rogue in our kingdom, and others the boldest adventurer.
Being Captain John Smith, I plead guilty, Your Majesty. And guilty also to having tried to serve my king in the colony of Virginia to the best of my ability.
We have heard strange and conflicting tales, both of Captain John Smith and Virginia. That is why we have brought you into our presence when we heard your return, so that we might hear the account from your own lips. Master Saunders, you will take this down, not missing a word. Take your ease, Captain, if it will give your words an easier flow.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Sire, my story would have its beginning in Jamestown. It is spring of the year 1607. Here, on the fever-ridden banks of the James River, a few tents and crude lean-tos marked the beginning of the first permanent settlement in the New World.
8 o'clock and all's well. All's well.
But at the moment, it did not look very permanent. The bulk of the settlers, disillusioned when they discovered Virginia had more hardships than gold to offer, were already making plans to abandon the settlement.
Do you all wish to die of fever in a plague-ridden swamp like Captain Gosnold? I say forget this poverty-stricken mound of mud. We've got 3 good ships anchored in the river. And to the south lies the Spanish Main and all the wealth of the Indies.
It has a smell of piracy.
Piracy, say you? Did they call Drake a pirate? Hawkins a pirate? Not when they came sailing home laden with Spanish gold, they didn't.
What about Smith? He'll have something to say about this.
Captain John Smith. That high and mighty gentleman has done his last objecting. At this moment, as you well know, he's aboard the Goodspeed in chains by my orders. And there he stays to await his trial for mutiny.
No man's worked harder to establish this colony. It was not fair to set chains upon him.
Conserve the food, till the land, clear the forest. That's Captain John Smith for you.
It's a fair program of common sense.
Common sense be hanged. And I mean Captain Smith to hang one of these near days. We didn't come out of England to be grubbers of the soil and make friends with the Indians. Agree with me, Davis?
Aye. It was gold we came for.
Aye, and it's worth saying twice. Gold. Snatch gold out of this wilderness and back to London rich as lords.
Be that as it may, but you had no authority to imprison John Smith.
Mind you, Mr. Ralph, understand one thing. From today, I command this expedition. It goes where I order it, when I order it. And if any man objects, there's more than one set of chains aboard the Goodspeed.
But hanging held slight appeal for me. I had torn my blanket to shreds and, pretending to hang, waited for opportunity to knock. It did.
Bosun! Bosun on the watch! The prisoner's hung himself!
But I was determined not to leave Jamestown at the mercy of a few selfish men. Turkey gobbles. But since when do birds cry out in the night as if they had human throats? Something was prowling in the woods between me and Jamestown. And I would have wagered my scalp that the only feathers they had were stuck in their hair.
Captain Smith, Indians going to attack. No, you fool.
Arouse the men silently. Get that for the prison, Wingfield. The Indians are about to attack.
Indians? What tale is this? And how did you get off that ship?
Keep your voice down. They wait for daylight, but you're like to bring them before if they think we've been warned.
Good. We'll teach them a lesson they won't forget.
The lesson is like to be taught us since they outnumber us 5 to 1 and are fair aching to slit our throats because of your treatment of them and abuse of their women.
What's to be done, John?
Get this sot on his feet. Out with the light. Now spread the word to the others. Indians are about to attack. You take up defensive positions behind the shelters. And get word to the ship for help. Move quickly or you'll never see the rise of the new sun. We tried to get a message through to the ships, but each attempt was ended by the arrow of a silent watcher. Outnumbering us, they would be swarming over before we could make our guns tell. All we could do was wait. Wait tensely. Guns ready. Out beyond the little band of settlers, the war drums pounded our doom.
I think I heard something in the brush over there.
No. You'll give away our position. Walk, man. Don't stand and sweat. The fool. Keep sheltered and load. We're not getting off this easy.
How you got off that ship, I've no way of telling yet. But there's not room for 2 men giving orders here. So if you've a mind to settle the matter here and
Look!
now, I'll...
There.
They mean to burn us out into the open.
I'll form a water party down by the river, Captain.
No, there's better work than trying to empty the river off.
Aye.
Get to the ship. You'll have to swim for it.
Yes, Captain.
Have them man the cannons.
At what target?
The settlement. They're to fire outside on ball and grape shot. Oh, one thing more. Give me a signal shot of powder 10 seconds before you broadside. Then cut loose with all you can cram into the muzzle.
You'll kill us all. Save the Indians the trouble.
Not if we labor fast. Go on, man. Now, the rest of you. A ditch below the riverbank and dig as you hope to live. Follow me.
Don't listen to the loudmouth cockerel, lad. It'll be your death.
He who does not dig gets no shelter. Come on.
Lads, listen to me.
He gives orders as if it had been chartered by the king himself.
We'll see for how long.
If John Rolfe could reach the ships in time to give the message, we still had a chance. But at this moment, the odds were long against Jamestown surviving.
John!
It was an able piece of work, John Rolfe.
The sight of you and the men lifts the load. I was afraid the work too well done.
At least half our company is safe. It's small enough.
Great credit lying in a hole when there's fighting afoot.
I have memory of you at the very bottom of the hole. Come, lads. There's work aplenty for all. How about the tally, John?
Not so good, Captain. We were short enough before the attack. And now between Indians and the ship's cannon, most of what we did have is gone. Here's a list I made of dried fish, 200 pounds. Of salt.
By whose orders do you assume this authority?
By whose order do you question it?
I'm a gentleman, born to higher rank than any here.
That is of concern only to you and your mother, not me.
It's a matter I also intend to settle between us here and now.
Men, I suggest we put this matter to a vote. I have a candidate. He saved our skins, and he'd be a man who would tweak the devil's own tail if need be. Captain John Smith.
You fools, this job calls for a gentleman, not an adventurer.
As for me, I look into a man's heart, not whether he was born between silken sheets. Captain Smith has my hand.
Aye, and mine, with mine added to the number.
You're daft, all of you. Mr. Wingfield's quality born, he'll lead you well.
True words, every one of them.
What say you, Captain?
I can tell you better when the votes are counted, Charlie.
All right, then, let's put it to a vote. Who speaks up for Mr. Wingfield?
I do, and me.
Now, who speaks up for Captain John Smith?
Captain!
Smith. Have you more to say, Mr. Wingfield?
Aye, at my own time and choice.
My thanks to you, friends. But I warn you fair, 'tis no life of ease I promise. You will not be picking up those golden nuggets you dreamed of in England as gladsome Indian maids sing lullabies of love in your ears. No. You'll scratch for food and tighten your belt as you dodge Indian arrows. But enough talk, to work. And the first to test your muscles, a stockade for protection. Come on, lads, to work.
John, have a word with you?
I might as well. I can't build this stockade by myself. You worked out the rations?
The matter's even worse than I thought. It'll have to be half rations for all. I doubt if even such measures as that'll see us into the winter.
And half rations it'll be, and quarter rations if needful. Perhaps wrinkled dollies will move some of these gentlemen to hunt and scratch for their victuals.
Face it, Captain. Their hearts aren't in it. These so-called gentlemen of quality expect their inferiors to feed them. 10 minutes after you announce half rations, they'll all be Wingfield's men, piling out to the ships to abandon the colony.
And we must see to it they have no choice in the matter.
By what means?
You'll discover in the morning. In the meantime, keep your inventory of the food to yourself.
Aye.
Ships, they're gone.
Mute. There's none of any.
Look for yourself, they're gone.
Aye, gone. By my order.
Those ships were our only hope. And now he's doomed us to starve. If the Indians don't save us the suffering with their arrows.
It'll mean our end.
They were our only road to safety.
And as long as you had that thought to depend on, you had no thought of depending upon yourselves. Well, now you must if you mean to stay alive until the ship returns before winter with new supplies.
And just what do we do if the Indians swoop down upon us again? We don't have ship's cannon to protect us.
I'm going to make our peace with the great chief Powhatan.
That old heathen has sworn the death of every man here. We can't spare men for a dangerous expedition into the wilderness. It would leave us at the mercy of the first attack.
I take no fighters. I ask only 2 volunteers.
Ha! Hark, the wind he blows. And who'd be daft enough to go with him to have his head planted on an Indian stake?
Me. My father said I'd live to be hung. So why should I fear an Indian arrow?
Good lad, Charles.
I'm with you, Captain. I'm beginning to think I'll find the red man's company less distinct to my nostrils than some closer I could name.
Well, as you went along with this boaster as he lived, go with him as he dies. And good riddance to all 3 of you.
Prepare yourselves, lads. We leave at once.
It's cursed hot, Captain.
The smell of what in the air?
It's the taste that interests me more.
Well, there's no point in wandering aimlessly through wilderness.
What do you suggest? As for me, one tree looks much like the other.
Afraid we've missed our goal, John.
Right, here's my plan. There must be a trail in the forest leading toward the village. Fleming, you scout to the south. John will go west, and I'll head upriver. We'll meet back here at sunset. Agreed?
Agreed.
One of us should have some luck.
Now take care you see the Indians before they see you.
Never fear, good friend. I'll be watching this scalp.
I had heard that the fishing was good in Virginia waters, but who would have expected fish such as these? The question was how to angle for them. My mermaids were shy. The worst of it is, they vanished before I could gain from them a clue as to where Powhatan's village lay. Now the question was, how do you bait a hook for a frightened mermaid? Every hunter knows that it's easier to trap wild game than chase it. I decided to see what curiosity would do. I knew I could count on feminine curiosity. Now, don't look so frightened. I'm not going to hurt you.
You Englishmen, please let Pocahontas go.
So, your name is Pocahontas. Wouldn't Pocahontas like pretty beads?
No. Please let me go.
All girls like pretty beads. Now, don't be so frightened. Do I look as if I would hurt Pocahontas?
No.
So you're the daughter of the chief of the Pospehegans.
My father is chief of all tribes from blue waters to great mountains. And he would be very angry if you did not let me go.
Where did your father live?
Upriver. Now will you let me go?
Never met a girl who was so anxious to get rid of me. Now, wouldn't Pocahontas like to see pretty mirror? You look into it, see pretty... I thought this wild thing most lovely. But I must confess, I never imagined that a chance meeting with an Indian princess would not only change the entire course of my life, but would also decide the history of Virginia.
Which way?
Upriver.
What's wrong?
Same thing that scared yon crow.
I see seen nothing unusual.
Best reason to be watchful. Don't shoot. That Indian seems to know nothing of armor.
That's taking a long chance, Captain. He might aim at your face.
Get up. We mean you no harm.
Looks like he thinks you're some kind of special, Captain.
It is to our interest to have him continue to think that way. Get up. You Paspahagen?
Paspahagen. Nantiquah.
We come with friendship to visit Powhatan.
Powhatan does not like whiteskins. But on whiteskins that are gods, he will smile. You are in no danger.
These whiteskins are spies who have crept into our country to steal and to kill. Their medicine is bad. Devils of mischief who would ravish our women and defile our houses. They kill with their breath as well as their weapons, so that the flesh of our peoples turn into biting sores and waste away from the bones. All whiteskins are serpents with forked tongue and poisoned fang. Opahunka has spoken.
These whiteskins are gods. To injure them will bring misfortune to Powhatan and his people. Arrows will not pierce their bodies, but fall like dead leaves, blown by winter winds.
So the pale skin is a god who has much magic.
Our friends need not fear.
There was a pale skin here many moons before you came. Raleigh he was called. We met many times.
Great chief, we come bearing gifts in peace.
Powhatan knows the gifts the pale skins bring to his people. The sickness, which changes the skin to evil scale. The sickness which eats away the flesh and the lungs. And with these gifts comes treachery and words spoken with a forked tongue.
Nantiquah saw what we can do against our enemies, if we wish to call on our magic.
Nantiquah has not seen as many pale skins as Powhatan. He does not know that they wear a metal skin above their own. Now I have stripped you of your magic. It'll make a good cooking pot for my women.
means to kill you.
It is plain he has no love for me. And the next one would tell.
You have the heart of the eagle. You have earned the right to die, but not by the death of slow fire.
What does he mean?
Just that we each die quickly instead of being tortured.
You will die by the hand of Obahanka. He is my first warrior. I give you that honor.
By combat?
Obahanka cannot meet you in combat except in battle.
Why not here, now?
If you were a member of the tribe, you could look forward to that. For him to refuse would be a disgrace. And the one who conquered could decide the fate of the other. But you are a prisoner. Obahanka is your executioner. Release him.
Listen to his daughter's words. Obahanka's tongue is a stranger to truth. This white skin and his friends are not our enemies. They wish to live with us as our brothers. If you send them to the land of the shadow, the Great Spirit will turn his face away from our people. Pocahontas begs mercy from Powhatan. Pocahontas asked him to give her this man's life.
Whiteskins have cast magic on Powhatan's daughter. Her tongue speaks, but her ears are deaf to her words.
Why does Obahanka have such poison in his heart for the white skin? What injury have they done him or to his house?
Fine words from one who has yet to get his first scalp. They are not for warriors' ears.
Warriors' ears? Slaughterers' ears?
I have not given permission for bloodshed between brothers of the tribe.
Powhatan, you see how the spilling of blood leads to bloodshed. This man has done no wrong to visit Powhatan in peace. Only if his arm be raised to strike, should Powhatan strike in turn.
If Pocahontas asks for this man's life, does she remember the law of the tribe?
Pocahontas knows.
Let the white skin's life be spared.
Suppose they mean to make him a member of the tribe?
Well, if they do, why exclude us?
What do you think, John? Does it help my appearance?
Well, it's a sight any Londoner would gladly pay 6 pence to see. Remember this if you ever have to make a living back there.
What does it all mean?
You like Indian wedding dress?
Wedding?
You marry with Pocahontas.
Is that why you saved my life?
When Powhatan give Pocahontas your life, she must marry him. That is our law.
Do you want to marry me?
The Great Spirit does not like killing. Indian kill white man kill Indian. Not good.
So, it's to keep the peace.
Yes. She marries you to keep peace between the white men and the Indians.
John, it's a heathenish union.
You will guarantee a bond of friendship with the Indians and a sufficiency of food for the settlement.
And it'll mean we'll be able to live and trade in peace with them.
It may well be that on the shoulders of that Indian girl will rest the whole future of Virginia.
My daughter Pocahontas has claimed your life. By the law of that tribe, that life is yours.
I am grateful to her.
I do not smile upon this marriage. But my daughter Pocahontas tells me it will make her heart blossom. I want her to be happy.
I'm grateful to you also, Powhatan.
I do not say I can love the white skin, but there is no reason why we should not live together in peace. If the white skin will only realize the earth and all it bears does not belong only to them.
We came in peace with friendship in our hearts for our brothers of the forest.
And let Pocahontas be the evidence of the friendship we bear for each other.
It's sacrilege for John Smith to do this thing.
Mayhap, my friend. But it'll be most pleasant of a cold night.
Gold, men. Gold. It's a fortune. A fortune, it's 50 fortunes. And it lies just beneath the surface of the earth for the taking. Gold without measure.
How did you find it?
I was digging for some roots to eat.
Seems strangely light for gold.
It's flake of the mineral with but little weight until melted down.
Then we're like to be the richest men ever to return to England.
Only if we do not lose our heads and keep our own counsel.
How do you mean?
By terms of contract the Council of London made with this colony, all gold and precious metals belong to the company.
We're powerless. We all signed it.
When the king granted this colony to the company, it was with the provision that if no permanent settlement was made, Virginia would revert to the crown.
Oh. And if a new company were to, they would come into all the land and all the gold.
Exactly.
A neat plan, if it succeeds.
We'll make it succeed. Now keep hold of your tongues and help me do all within power to drive these men to abandon Virginia.
Led by Captain John Smith.
Smith's back. He's brought a parcel of Indians with him. A couple of women, too. I had hoped we'd seen the last of him.
How are you there, Thomas?
Hearken, lad. I've made treaty with the great chief of the Naturals, Powhatan. He pledges us his friendship. And to bind his promise has given me his daughter, Pocahontas, to wed.
How much food those Naturals going to supply us, Captain?
Oh, they're going to supply us more than food. They're going to show us how we can help ourselves. That is far more to our interest.
Hurry up, Captain. These fish are 6 days from their natural home and don't care who knows it.
Pocahontas told you what to do. This is the way you wish it.
Yes, put fish in every hole.
You heard the lady. A fish in every hole with each kernel of corn planted.
The strangest custom I ever saw.
Mayhap, but it will give the seed nourishment to grow. Every hole now. To see the others are equal conscientious about it, I charge you or they'll hear from me.
You men, my fist to the jaw of any one of you that doesn't bury a piece of fish with every kernel planted. You got that straight? All right, now get to it.
Here, I fix you food. You must eat. Why do you bring firewood here? This is not the camp.
To serve as a signal when the ships return. Otherwise, in these strange waters, they might run aground. And we would never see England again.
England? You do not go to England.
Why not? It is home.
But you leave Pocahontas behind?
Oh, so that is what's troubling you. Don't worry. I'm not expecting the ships to fall.
But then you leave her behind.
Oh, come now, Pocahontas. Nobody's talking about leaving you.
Now I know.
Women. What's bothering the queer little creature now? You know perfectly well.
Yes, I suppose I do. But I can't let her fall in love with me. I, a roving adventurer, she an Indian princess. What would life be for her? A few months of happiness, and a lifetime of regrets.
Sounds a bit cruel.
Sometimes cruelty is the kindest in the end.
One of us ought to get back on post before Captain Smith decides to make a round.
Nah, he's tucked in comfortable with his Indian maid. What do we have to walk post for now anyway? Ain't all these naturals our friends now?
Mischief brings you here like a prowling dog. Powhatan's people are friends.
I can tell you what brought him here, Captain. Gun stealing. These naturals would give their left eye for a gun.
Well, put him under lock and key. To decide what to do with him in the morning. Now back to your posts and beds.
There's no friend to Jamestown, I'm thinking.
Crazy for guns, is he?
Obahanco. I'm your friend. You understand, Obahanco? I am your friend. Listen to me, Obahanco. Listen carefully. Guns. Not just one gun. Many. Many guns for Obahanco and his warriors.
You heard naught during the night?
Not a sound. You can't hear these Indians sneaking about. They're soft-footed as cats. And there's Obahanca. He did not get free by himself. He had help. Sneaky friends who have been given the run of this place.
No Indian helped Obahanca.
We don't expect you to admit it.
White-skin lies who says Indian helped Obahanca.
Don't call me a liar, you stinking red rascal, or I'll...
Nantaquah has the right to defend himself.
One of these days we'll sorely prove what this coddling of Indians will cost. It would be to the safety of every man here to kick this heathen out of the settlement.
I will be the judge of that.
Judgment? When there's a pretty Indian wench there to sway that judgment in her husband's bedroom?
John. Bad news. More than just the escape of an Indian prisoner.
What is it?
Robbery. 24 guns with powder and ball to match. Gone from the storeroom during the night.
Like I said, Indian work, as you'll soon discover to your cost.
Hello. Here, give me that. This is no work for a lady.
All Indian girls do. Do not white-skinned women pound maize in London?
I'm afraid they've never even seen it there.
What is it like, London? Like big Indian village?
Oh, much, much bigger.
Many people?
Yes, many, many people.
Would like to see.
Captain Smith will take you there someday, perhaps.
Would like to meet big white-skinned chief. A big king chief.
Well, someday you might even do that.
I'd like to be a great lady. And wear fine clothes like picture and book you show.
You're a great lady now. Greater than most I know of in London to think themselves so.
Pocahontas, great lady now.
Yes, Pocahontas. Now.
Why great lady now?
Because of what you think and do. Because of your kindness to people who are not of yours. People who would have starved if not for you. People who would have been killed had it not been for you. People you still serve so nobly and unselfishly. Why?
Forest big. Room for all to live in peace. Indians and white skin. All children of Great Spirit. Pocahontas believe heart made for love. Pocahontas believe Great Spirit wanted that way. Indians and white skin forget sometime. Pocahontas never forget.
Yes, Pocahontas. So never doubt for a moment that you're anything but a great lady.
But a man's heart has a stronger pull than his logic. Every time I saw her with Rolfe, my jealousy rose.
John, give her back that pestle.
Well, it's quite heavy. I just
Give it back to her.
Well, what's wrong in helping
It is a
her?
bad example for the other Indians in the stockade. They consider this woman's work, and any man who does it is no better than a woman. You must not get that impression. It could prove dangerous.
Pocahontas, she's your wife. You don't include her with the others.
I told you to give that pestle back to her.
Well, it's muscle-making work, John. I don't mind helping Pocahontas. If the other Indians consider me any less a man for it, I promise you I won't be offended.
Do as I say.
My husband is right. Woman's work. For my people to see white skin do it would bring scorn to their eyes.
I spoke hastily, lad. I'm sorry. My nerves are a trifle racked. The Indians are restless. I try to keep them content. Our own men make it hard for me by their treatment of them. We are few, they are many.
I should have thought. Can't be easy for you.
They hold us in wonder and awe. If once we lose their respect, if they begin to scorn us, bear me no grudge for my insult.
My hand on it, the fault was mine.
Get away all right?
No trouble at all.
Guns and powder?
And ball. Where's the Indian?
At the hut waiting with his friends. All right, bring those casks and follow me. Come on. Good. Powder and shot. And when you've used that up, you can make your own. Here, I'll show you how best to use these. Well, Macklin.
Gold.
Aye, gold.
You've found gold and you'll be keeping the secret from the settlement?
You've got a long nose, Macklin, for another's business.
And them Indians I saw coming out of here with the guns, they got them from you. You've been trading with the Indians. Guns stole last night from the stockade. I'm going to tell Captain John Smith.
The fool.
This is a hanging matter.
Only if we can't convince everybody that this bloody work was done by Indian hands.
Indian?
Perhaps it was destiny that impelled you to throw that knife, Turnbull. Make the lads back at the settlement think it was done by Indians, and it will ferment a brew likely to shatter Jamestown to its very foundations.
How can we make them believe it was the Indians that did it?
A slight chore, I mean, for you to arrange, Davis. Now give heed.
Come in.
Men are celebrating your wedding, Pocahontas. They missed the bride.
My husband. Does he miss Pocahontas also?
Well, of course.
Then why doesn't he come and tell her this himself?
He sent me to get you.
A warrior of my people does not send another to bring his bride.
When you understand the ways of the English better, you'll not be angry. Captain Smith doesn't mean to hurt you.
Who speaks of hurt during a wedding celebration? We'll miss you around the rum cask, lad.
I came to bring Pocahontas.
Does one have to come for the chief celebrant? She should be there, taking honor and doing it to her guests. Come along, my lass. Come along.
Does my husband invite Pocahontas? Or does he order?
Since you have to be brought, 'tis an order.
Pocahontas is not a slave. She is daughter of Powhatan and a princess of her people.
I'll tell the men you'll be right along.
I've told you to show yourself to my friends. I will not be made small in their eyes by the whims of an Indian maid.
If you think of me only as an Indian mate, I cannot make you look small in the eyes of your men, no matter what I do.
Now stop trading words with me and do as I command.
Pocahontas does not understand that word in the mouth of her enemies. She understands it even less on the lips of her husband.
The first quality of a wife is obedience. Don't they know that in Powhatan's village?
In my father's village, they know that a wife gives obedience because her husband never commands it of her. That is part of her love for him. Given freely because never asked.
This attitude may go well in the forest, but has no place in Jamestown. And the sooner you learn this lesson, the shorter the journey to becoming a lady. Where are you going?
Back to my people. Pocahontas knows now you do not love her. You have turned your face away from her ever since the night of marriage. Pocahontas gives you back your life Powhatan gave her. Pocahontas knows now she acted like a child.
I had never meant to fall in love with Pocahontas, but it happened. I would no longer struggle against it.
Your knife? You all saw where it was when we brought Macklin's body in from the forest where we found it. Stuck in that wound in his back, which killed him.
My brother did not kill him.
Nobody's talking to you. Let your brother speak for himself.
He's got mighty little to say.
It is my knife, yes. But it was stolen from me.
You say it was stolen. Why did you kill Macklin?
Mr. Wingfield, I suggest we wait on this till Captain Smith gets back from fishing.
I'll thank you to look after your own affairs, Mr. Ross. Why did you kill Macklin? What had he done to you?
My brother is innocent. He has spoken.
Yes, he has spoken. One lie after another.
There's only one way to get the truth out of these savages, and that's to beat it out of them. Yeah, come on, get him out of here.
I advise you to tell us the truth.
Whose order is this man being lashed?
They say he killed Macklin. It's a lie. They beat him to make him tell a lie.
There's the body. Here's the knife was found stuck in his back.
Found? Who found it?
Me and Turnbull, that's who. We found the body lying across the forest trail. The Indian admits the knife is his.
Someone stole it from Nantucket.
You can believe that if you want to.
And I will.
This is a folly you'll regret, John Smith.
Aye. A folly of your making, Wingfield. Our prosperity and our very lives depend upon the goodwill of the Indians, and you've done your best to destroy it. A great folly to be sadly regretted. Is there no work for idle hands here in the fields?
Balmy evening.
Aye.
Something to be relished after London winter.
Yep. Even that doesn't ease my concern.
You scratch at your worries like a dog at his fleas. What is it now?
What is it not always? Food. Seems to me the Virginia Company in London's forgot us.
Oh, there will be a ship in time. But the honorable gentlemen mean us to be self-supporting.
Well, for that purpose, we must have tools, trade goods, and much else. I'm afraid someone will have to go to London to stir them up.
I've been thinking about it.
Will you take Pocahontas with you?
London is no place for an Indian maid. It is cold and bleak. She's a child of the sun. Virginia's her whole life.
What'll you do then?
Send another in my place.
But who would be as well suited?
Yourself.
I? Leave Jamestown?
There's less to hold you. I cannot leave my wife.
You cannot leave an Indian maid?
She's a breathing symbol of this colony's life. Without her, it would collapse like a house of cards. Overrun by Indians, wasted by starvation.
And that was your only reasons?
No. Pocahontas has become dear. In leaving her, I'd be leaving the best part of my life.
No one would have thought when we met her in the forest that day she would have become so dear to every one of us.
Least of all, John Smith. Good night, John.
Good night.
I didn't mean to awaken you. Have you seen Nantuquois this evening?
I took him his supper before I went to bed.
How is he?
He does not speak. You do not believe he killed Macklin, John?
No, why should he? Macklin was a harmless fool.
I believe Wingfield killed Macklin and put blame on Nantuquois.
That is a suspicion I will not quarrel with, but without proof. Oh, sometimes I wonder if the settlement is worth all the torment it costs. But this I do know, that without you it would prove more than I could bear.
Do you love Pocahontas, John?
With a love that is a symbol of faith and a pledge of hope. I love you. The love of John Smith for an Indian princess.
Begging your pardon, Captain, but the Indians are...
More trouble?
Well, it depends on how you interpret it. They've gone.
Gone?
They must have sneaked out during the night. I checked with the sentry and he didn't hear a thing.
It's a bad sign. Call General Assembly.
Aye, Captain.
Nantuquois and the rest of the Indians have left the stockade during the night.
See for yourselves. The Indians are gone, deserted during the night. And they did not leave in friendship. What it means, I do not know. But I can't say I like the look of it.
Good riddance, I say.
It is no riddance, but a promise to return tomahawk in hand, most like. There will be a 24-hour watch. Double sentries, strengthen the gates, see to your weapons. No man to step foot beyond the wall. Prepare water buckets in case of fire arrow attack. See to it.
And I would take it kindly that if anything should happen to me, you'd set yourself to look after Pocahontas.
You have my word on it, John.
War drums.
Opahanco.
It's near the hour agreed upon.
Ah. You can trust this savage. You made it plain to him that we are to be spared. You can rely upon him.
It's only through us he can hope to get more powder when the ships come in.
The drums have stopped. It means they're ready to attack. Keep your eyes wide, lads.
Dead. Can't blame the Indians. The fool exposed himself. Anyway, it means more gold for us. Let's get out of here before a stray arrow finds us.
Beyond the fire and count the number of Powhatan's warriors you have sent to the Great Spirit because you have drunk of the poison of the serpent.
Nantucket has eaten of the Whiteskins' food, and now he fawns on them as a dog.
Powhatan will summon Opahanka to the council fires when he hears the grieving of the women in the empty houses. And I will be Opahanka's chief accuser.
Pocahontas promises John Smith's knife will drink deep in the heart of Opahunco. And Pocahontas will laugh as she sees vultures gorging themselves on his flesh.
Bring her back.
There's something stirring out there.
It's Pocahontas.
There's an Indian chasing her.
Open the gate.
Where'd you come from? I thought you were safe in the cabin.
I heard Opahunco's war drums. I went to find Nantucket. Nantucket told Opahunco that Powhatan was friends to Whiteskins. Opahunco killed Nantucket. Nantucket turned his back on Opahunco.
Then Opahunco has signed his own death warrant when Powhatan learns of this.
It's too late to do us any good. We can't hold out much longer.
Mayhap Nantucket has served us as well in death as he wished to do in life. It is part of the tribe's law that a blood brother has a right to avenge another's death, and I am blood brother to Nantucket. Isn't that right?
You became son to Powhatan and blood brother to Nantucket when you married Pocahontas.
Send up 2 fire arrows together. Signal of challenge.
The challenge is accepted.
Wait. Is John right? Will Opahunco meet him without treachery?
It is our law. Opahunco's own men would kill him if he does not obey it.
Take a look, lads! Gather around, everybody!
What's that you have?
We found it, Captain, about a mile down the river. And there's a good dozen we left behind. We were fishing and loaded this on our dugout and brought it up. It's full of gold and dust.
Gold?
Gold?
Gold? Aye, Virginia's full of this, but it's not gold. I've seen these kind of flakes before in my travels. It's what the Spanishers call fool's gold and completely worthless.
How could you be sure? It's gold when you look at it.
It's as much gold as most of the will-o'-the-wisp men chase. You don't have to take my word for it. Send a cask to a London goldsmith and let him confirm what I'm telling you. You say you found this cask where you left others?
Aye.
The gold is worthless, but it's plain someone among us is meant to cheat the rest. You know anything of this, Mr. Wingfield?
I? Nothing. It's as strange to me as any.
I'd like to put a knife into the man who did this.
We'll have to find him first. Take this cask to my cabin.
I see. You see, I told you so. Smith has been hiding the gold from us, the cheat. I knew it. All this talk about fool's gold was but to serve one purpose, to seize it for himself. Look at it. Look how it glitters. How can it be anything but gold? But how are we going to get it out of here? Simple enough. When they change the guard at the gate, it shouldn't be too difficult to sneak it through into the woods. Oh. And then it's all ours to divide between the two of us. Just the two of us. Why, half of this is enough to live like a rich man in London. True, my friend, true. But the whole of it would make a man much richer.
Like this for over a week?
Yes, Doctor. We did all we could for it, but until you arrived with the ship, there was no one here with any knowledge of medicine.
He does not eat. His talk is wild.
There's no point in holding out false hopes, Mr. Rolfe. The burns alone are enough to kill any ordinary man. How he survived until now is a miracle of vitality.
He must live. I can save him.
I'm afraid that lies beyond human power.
There must be something we can do.
I have only one suggestion. Get him aboard ship and out of this swamp.
The doctor said you wished to see me.
The ship sails on the tide. They take me to England because they despair of my life. It means, lad, that you will have to remain in Jamestown to hold things together.
John, you give me a trust I can't promise to live up to unless you leave Pocahontas here to help me.
I've given enough of myself to Jamestown. She belongs to me alone now. She goes with me.
Then you sign Jamestown's death warrant. Destroy everything you risked so much to build.
Pocahontas has kept the colony together up to now. He's kept it alive. It cannot do the same for itself hereafter. It deserves whatever fate lies in store for it. Jamestown has drained her strength. I will not let it feed on her heart. Go ashore. Get your belongings. We sail within the hour.
But Pocahontas had made her decision. Her heart sailed with me. But she knew she was the bond of peace between her people and Jamestown. Without her, the settlement would vanish like a forgotten dream.
I wonder if it was right to let him sail alone. Are you sure that's what he really wanted?
Yes. Deep in her heart, Pocahontas knows.
He loved you, truly.
John also loved England. He loved his king. He loved Jamestown. He also loved Pocahontas. Now they're taking him back to England to die. And I know that John would want Pocahontas to stay here and take care of his people. And I know he would want me to help keep peace between the whiteskins and the Indians. Pocahontas knows he really wants it this way.
You're a wise lady, Pocahontas, as well as a great one, to sacrifice your happiness for a man's dream.
I love John Smith.
That is the story, Your Majesty. Not my story, but the story of Jamestown. And the story of the beautiful and great Indian princess Pocahontas.
Your king thanks you, Captain. It is plain we owe you a debt we have failed to discharge for the service you have rendered Crown and country. Name your reward. A post in my army? Governor of Virginia?
Sire, I could never return there.
Oh, then you know John Rolfe and the Princess Pocahontas
are wed? Yes, Your Majesty, I've heard. Pocahontas thought me dead. John Rolfe, who I knew long had loved her, has given her his name and protection in the colony. He will be good to her.
And you? What will you do?
Seek newer horizons, Your Majesty, and fresh adventures. It is the breath of my life. I have Your Majesty's leave to depart.
With our good wishes, Captain. And the hope that Virginia will be as well served by others.
And here it stands in London today, a country's grateful tribute to an Indian girl, a great lady, a princess of her people.